this video, I'm going to be sharing my step-by-step process for how I make my greeting cards to sell on Etsy, from designing in Canva all the way to packaging your order. Let's get started. We are in my Canva. I am going to show you how I make my greeting card templates. In the US, an A2 greeting card is 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches. When you're designing your templates, you just want a basic document 8.5 by 11 and then create design. I like to make my own so there's no formatting settings already, like you can do your own formatting. And then once you get here, you want to make sure you have your grid lines available. So you go into your settings, make sure you press show rulers and grids. An easy way to do this is just to drag from the corner here until you see a purple line. And you want to put that in the center of your design. And at the top here, it'll say 4.250 and let go. And that is one of your grids that you need. Now you want to go from the top, pull from the ruler, and go down to the middle till you see that pink line again. If you don't see it, it might take a minute. But when you get the pink line, it'll sort of lock into place. So you'll see it. And on the corner here, you want it to say 5.50. And this gives you the option to have two cards on the placement. You can go into your elements here, go to shapes, choose basic shape in whatever color you want, and drag it to the corner of one of the squares, one of the rectangles. And then make sure it fills the page. This is reading at 4.3. height 5.5 because Canva likes to round things up, but this is the front of your card here. So I like to have this here when I'm designing. I can turn the transparency down, and that way I know where I'm designing. And that also makes it easier to do this. If you want to know exactly where the middle of the front of your card is, you can use this to find it. You do need to have a shape or something that size behind it, or else you won't get this locked line here. But this is the middle of your card. It is at 6.375 inches into your page, and you can do the same thing to the back side of the card. So to make it easier, I'm gonna do the back side in pink for you. So you'll have blue for the front, pink for the back. Drag another line to the center of the rectangle, the pink rectangle, and that one is positioned at 2.125 inches. So I can also have this template available for you to download as well if this is too much. And you can lock your grids in place, but again, going to settings and then lock guides, and they will not move, and you can just design on top of them. So now what we're going to do is to find your design. I already have my designs pre-made and populated here. I make all of my illustrations in Procreate, which is an app on my iPad, and then I save the image to my laptop so I can upload it in Canva. So I'm going to take my holiday cards. These are all the designs I have, and this is the one I'm printing out today for my order. Season's reading. I prefer when my cards don't have when my designs don't have a background, but this one does, and that is okay. You want to make sure it's not going off to the edge, because sometimes printers make mistakes when printing at home, and you do not want anything to get cut off. You do want to have some margin of error. In this case, you have this blue line here. You can cut that off if necessary, and your design will not be affected. So I'm just going to do two of these. Just make sure they're centered. And then for the back of your card, you can put anything there. One thing I like about Canva is you can very easily take a design you already have. So I will have this template available for you in the description. I have this here that I use. It just has my logo. It has that the cards are blank inside, that they're made in the United States, stuff like that. And I'm just gonna add that to my cards here, making sure that they're positioned evenly. And if you need to, you can add a faint line here to help you when folding. but I can show you another step to make that easier so you don't have to add anything else. You don't have to add any borders because that will show up in your final design. So this is my final layout. I remove all of the backgrounds and this is print ready. You want to make sure nothing goes to the edge of the file, because unless you have a printer that prints borderless, that's going to be a problem. So for that, you want to put show margins, and you can make sure if you have a specific printer, you can try to play around with it. And another technical term is print bleed, which is if you have a design that goes all the way off the page, you want to turn on this setting here called print bleed. And if you turn this on, this border shows up. Let's say you have a design. I'm just gonna do another one for example. Let's say you have a design here and you want the smiley face design to go all the way to the corner. To make sure it prints fully borderless, you want to drag it all the way out so it's all the way to the border. And that way, just send this off to someone else and they'll be able to print it as well. Or you can print it and know that you won't have nearly as many errors. And you want to do that for both of them. But I'm not doing this for mine, I'm just showing you in case you have a design like this. But just know, anything you put outside of this gray line here is going to be cut off or deleted. Like it's not going to get printed. It's just in case there's some formatting errors in your printer, scale is off, it'll have a little bit of like wiggle room. But back to what we're doing. We are just printing this off. It's white, the background's white, very simple and easy. I'm gonna save this. You have a few options to save. I do have Canva Premium, so I can do PDF print, which is the best option for printing documents like with illustrations. You can also save it as a PNG file, but I'm gonna save it as a PDF print because I know that that works. And I like to flatten my PDFs. Flattening them converts all the contents to a single image and it makes sure that things don't move around. So I do that. I'm not turning on crops and bleed. That's probably more professional, but I just don't want to do it. I think they changed it so you can print PDF print now without premium. That's amazing. And you have the option to choose between RGB and CMYK, and that really depends on your printer. So I've tested my printer out and I like how RGB works the most, even though it's not the conventional choice for printing. You usually choose CMYK. So if you were sending this file off to someone else, you probably would have more luck with CMYK. RGB is going to print super vibrant, and that is what I like with my prints. And my printer works well with it. So I'm going to save it as a way that I can find it. Greeting card. And I'm just saving it to my device. And now that I have it saved to my device, I'm going to open it. You can use Adobe Acrobat if you have that, Adobe Photoshop. I use what comes with my device. I have a MacBook. I use Preview because I like how it prints the best, personally. So just use whatever software you have to open your file. And you want to set up your document portrait. I have this setting messed up, so layout direction, page per sheet 1. You can do no border. If you have borderless printing, I would suggest that. Mine is on letter borderless, so I can print up to 100%. If you don't have it, just print on a regular US letter. So I'll do that for the sake of this video. I will print US letter, because I know a lot of people don't have the borderless option. Make sure print and color is selected, and then go down to media and quality, or whatever it is called for your printer. Make sure you have best selected, or the highest quality setting on your specific printer. And then I'm printing on glossy paper, so I'm gonna do photo glossy. And then make sure everything else is accurate. You want to make sure you check my printer's not connected right now, but check your color, make sure you have enough of each color, and let's print it. I am here at my printer. This is my printer I'm using. It is my favorite printer I've gotten so far. I'm going to be using this paper here. This is from the brand Red River. So I'll set my printer up. And now, so you put your paper, and I prefer to put it in the rear feeder here, behind here. Once you do that, you're gonna get this error message, and you want to make sure you change your printer, make sure that it's at letter size, and then you want to scroll until you see glossy paper or some sort of paper type that matches the texture of your paper. So mine is just regular glossy. It's satin, but I don't think it's super shiny. So I'm going to choose this one because I think it's the closest setting. And then we're going to bring our feeder out, bring this part out so it catches the paper, and then you can click print. To cut my greeting cards down to size, I am using this product here. This is from the brand EK Tools, and it is a scoreboard. I also am going to be using this glove to make sure I don't get any smudges on my print. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about here. It comes with a bone folder. That is what this thing is called, and this is what you use to fold your paper. And so you put your paper here, place it as close to the corner as you can, and you want to go 4 and 2 notches. I have mine marked off here so I know exactly where to score, and this is 4.25 inches. I brought you over here so you can see this better, and I hold my hand, hold this firmly down one side, and then I'm going to take this and slowly score the page. You want to apply gentle pressure so you don't rip the page, but enough so that it goes all the way through. And that is what it should look like. You should have a line, and the inside should have a bit of an indent to it. Now we come from here. I prefer to score mine before cutting, so we know we have it scored. You're gonna grab something to cut it with. I use this product here. This is from the brand X-Acto. This is their guillotine cutter. So I have it set here. You just slide it down and you get a nice clean cut. And you want to make sure it's pressed all the way down. And you want to make sure it goes all the way out to 5.5 inches. That is how you're going to get the size card that you want. This is how you measure what the size your cutting is, so don't worry about what's over here. Just focus on what's actually on the board. It might take a little bit of a little bit of trial and error, but you want to go to 5.5. And there we have our greeting card. So this is what the outside of the card looks like. Flip it around, the inside is perfectly blank, and we're going to leave it that way. And now we bring it back to our scoreboard. You don't need to use this, but you do need the bone folder. This is how I do it. This is my hack. I take a blank sheet of paper. I loosely fold my greeting card at the corners so that it's even. And then I sandwich it inside of a piece of paper here, and I press it down. And this takes practice. You sandwich it inside and you press it down. So when you open it here, you get a nice flush fold, perfectly matched to the corners. Then you open it on the inside, and you can't even see the little indent that was there because it's folded. So that's it. That's how you make a greeting card. And now we get into how to package it. So I already have my other cards made. I just had to redo this one. Again, I like to wear my gloves. I only have one right now, but I normally have 2. And we're just going to take our cards, do just your routine quality control. So I have these 5 cards that are part of my order here. And so I'm going to stack them up. Make sure I'm not giving her any duplicates. Going to put them in a glossine bag. This bag is acid free, which means that the product should not fade. I don't know if I'm going to put my envelopes mixed in, but we are at least going to put these in here. You gotta be careful though, because the bag is sticky. You should really wait to do the sticky stuff until after you have the product inside of the bag. So I'm gonna fold it down out of the way and just work on putting the product inside one at a time. And then you fold it down. It will look so much better if I did it the other way around, but for the demonstration I'm just gonna do it like this. And then I add a little thank you thing. On this one it's just saying to join my newsletter. You can join my newsletter if you click this. Okay, now that we have her order ready to pack, I'm going to show you how I prepare my packages so that they are protected during shipping. So I'm going to ship her order in this 6x8" package. This is a rigid mailer, and I like this one because it is pretty durable. Like, it's not going to bend super easily. And I already add a do not bend sticker to them to make it easier for myself. So this one fits inside here, but as an added source of protection, I am going to use cardboard to make sure that the package does not move. So I'm measuring it out. I want to have a little bit of extra space around it. I'm going to use my same guillotine cutter like this. This is about 5 inches wide. The greeting cards are going to be sandwiched in between 2 pieces of cardboard. This is part of the reason why I have very high ratings on my shop in terms of like stuff being packaged securely. It doesn't look as cute if you just did it without it, but in this case it's not about being cute, it's about being protected and making sure you don't have to reship your orders. So we're sandwiching it in between here like this. I didn't see anyone else do this. This is just something extra that I do because I get a lot of stuff shipped to me, so I already had the cardboard, and then you just place it all inside of your package. And it does add weight, so there's pros and cons depending on what you're shipping. But since she paid a decent amount for this, I want to make sure that it gets to her securely. I don't do this for my stickers because the cost, it doesn't really matter if I have to reship it because it's only like less than $1 loss. But these, if I had to reship it, that's like $20 worth of product. So this is not going to move. Like, you can not bend this even if you wanted to. Like, I'm trying, it's not bending. And that gives me a lot of security, and it makes me feel so safe knowing that I'm shipping products out that are going to last and are going to withstand all of the elements and being thrown around, because you never know what happens in a mail truck. You don't know if this is going to get knocked around in the middle of winter. You want to be secure. So I like this. It gives me peace of mind and doesn't take that much time. Now all you have to do is put your packaging slips inside and you're good to go. Now I'm going to show you how I do my mailing. This one is getting sent to Michigan where I live, so it's going to be a short trip. It should only take a couple days to get to her. But I am still sending out my order 1 day earlier than I need to make sure it gets there within 5 days. We are going to make sure it ships on a Wednesday. And then packaging type, you can choose from anyone depending on what you're shipping with. My mailing, I ship with thick envelope or package. This is 8 by 6 by ½ inch. So I'm gonna have to weigh it. This is the shipping scale that I use. It's from the brand Fusion. Let's turn it on. This scale has been super reliable for me. I've had it for like 3 years now. So we want to press hold to make sure that it holds the weight and stays. And here is my package. I normally weigh it with my shipping, with a excess shipping label, so the weight is accurate as possible. So let's see. So 4 ounces exactly. That is amazing. Let's get to making the shipping label. Okay, back in, it is not 6 ounces, it is 4. These are your different options. USPS Ground Advantage is what I normally use because it insures your package up to $100. Let's review it and buy the order. I'm ordering one label for $4.52. And now we are going to print our shipping label. I just printed black and white. It's pretty basic. And we added a little thank you note, and I'm gonna stick this in her order. I have it sticking out the top here, and we're just gonna fold it on down. I'm also gonna add another one of these do not bend stickers because it will also help keep the package closed, so it serves 2 purposes. And then let's add our label. And just add it here. And we have our package all nice and all ready to go.